Hello everyone and welcome to a special VGJFelix video. Special not because I'm wearing a dressing gown, but special because what I'm going to show you today is exactly how I make a YouTube video from the very beginning to the very end. What you would call the anatomy of a YouTube video. I hope you found it useful. This is a long video, about 45 minutes in length. So just to warn you, there is a lot to take in, but I hope it will help some other YouTube creators, or if you're just interested in the whole video making process and getting something from here onto there. So before you have a video, first of all, you need an idea. And in this particular example, I'm looking for an Android tip, which is something that's not that obvious to the user. That's what many of my tips are about. Finding something that is a light bulb switch moment for a user. And in this particular article, I found something whereby you can create shortcuts for your Android device, which are not usually available. So I'm going to read through the article and do a bit more research using my Android device to work out what exactly you have to do, see if it's suitable for a video, and then I'll begin the filming process. Now, this is not plagiarism. This is a tip that's just been that somebody has just explained. What's going to be the unique selling point of the video is my interpretation of this article and how I can present it to the user in a visual format, whereas this is just text and pictures. So that's where the added value is coming from my YouTube idea, and hopefully the audience will respond to it positively. Next phase is the actual filming of the hints and tips, and I'm actually going to do the filming simply on this desk. So the question you might be asking is, how do I get my videos to look, I would say, fairly professional with such a simple setup? Well, let's show you. What I do is film from a top-down position onto this, which is simply a laptop case, but it has a nice I suppose neutral background in that it's a dull grey black colour, and which goes not too bad with the phone, but obviously I'm holding the holding the camera in my hands, so there's a lot of moving about and jerking, so I have to solve that issue, which is with a tripod. Now the way I set up my tripod is like this. Very simple, very cheap. This was a tripod that cost about $20. And so I prop the two legs against the table, so that means that the tripod is going to be directly over the phone as I do the filming, and then we have one leg which is tied up here so I can get my office chair underneath, and then I can actually control the position of the camera and things. So this is what it's going to look like when I actually put the camera onto the tripod. So there may be some noises as I do this. Whoops, that's me holding down the zoom key as well. Just fix that. So now I'm going to attach the camera to the tripod. And then that's essentially how it looks. So now the camera is nice and steady, and we're looking at the phone and we're ready to use it. There is one more thing though that I do, and that's to use two light sources just to give it a better look, because there's a few shadows that are going on. And because since I've moved to Vancouver, I've lost the use of the lights that I was using, so I've had to get in some temporary ones, which are these very simple LED lights. Which I bought from Costco, and they cost about $6, so next to nothing, but they have some quite powerful LED lights, as you can see. And what I have is two of these, and I've just positioned one over this side and over this side, and this is the effect that it has. So pretty decent lighting source, a few shadows. Sometimes I have to turn the camera on and turn it back on, turn the camera off and then turn it back on to readjust the light focus on the camera, but it generally does a decent job. And now you can see that there's a nice display of the screen, camera's solid, and everything's in place. So it took me 3.5 minutes to describe the setup of the camera, but obviously when I'm doing it just to film, it takes no longer than a minute. So very little cost, and it's very simple to get what looks to be quite a decent setup for filming. So I'm ready to film now, and I'm going to basically take you through all the material I'm going to use for this video, and you'll soon find that there's a lot of what you might call B-roll material where I'm just adjusting the camera or setting up a screen just to make sure that when I'm actually capturing a bit I want, everything is perfect. The one thing I always use is this lovely stylus pencil, which everyone always asks me questions about, and this is just to indicate where different things are being pointed out. I'll try to remember to commentate on this, but I'm also trying to remember everything that I need to do. So I start with a blank page, and I will do some narration over this later on, but essentially what I need to do is a long press to get up the options, because I'm going to show people how to do a shortcut. So now I will indicate where I'm going to go by using my pen to point to the shortcut. Choosing shortcuts, and in this particular example I'm going to activities. I've also got to try and remember to make sure I keep the hand off the screen because it's casting a shadow, and if I'm doing jump cuts, which I often do in a fade style, which I'll show later on, then I need to make sure that when I'm jumping from one jump cut to the other, it doesn't look like this and all of a sudden cuts to something like that where you can see a pen or a shadow in the way. So I often take my hand off the away from the screen. So we'll click on activities, and what I'm going to show people is that you can add an activity which is a camcorder instead of just the camera. Now it took a while to load up that screen, and I'm actually going to edit that out because I don't really want to show the user all the waiting that they have to do. That's not terribly important for the demonstration. I want to show the user exactly what to do as quickly as possible. So on this, I'm just going to scroll down, and I'll probably edit this in a little bit. I'm looking for camera. Obviously I've also had something that's just appeared up there, which was a notification. That kind of ruins that shot, so I'm going to have to start again. So there's always little things you have to consider when you're filming. So I'm starting again now. I'm fine for that notification to stay there. No one's going to really notice that. So I'm going to scroll down to camera. Again, because I missed camera when I was scrolling down, it looks a bit silly now that I've gone down, missed it, and then scrolled it back up, so I have to start again. And so as you can see, I'm constantly thinking about how the video will look best when I record it. So here we go again. Scrolling down, and I find camera that time, press on camera, and I want to point to camcorder just to indicate that this is exactly what I'm going to use. Press on that, which creates a shortcut, and that's essentially what I'm trying to demonstrate to the user, that you can create a specific camcorder icon shortcut by using this system. And then if I press on the camcorder, you can see now that we have the screen, and I would obviously have to lift this up just to prove that it's a camcorder. Maybe point down there again just to indicate that the camcorder is in use there. But I'm going to do a second demonstration to just show the user how else they could use it as well. So I'm going to leave that on screen to indicate that we've already done one shortcut. Long press again. I don't necessarily have to show all this filming again, so I can move a little quicker this time. I already have enough material, I think, for the first 45 seconds to a minute, and on this one we're scrolling a long way down because we need to go down to the T's, and again there will be a big fade here because I want to show people that I think actually it's in settings, so maybe I'll just shut down that, and then I would jump cut in to me pressing on settings, then probably scroll down a long way because we've got to get towards the bottom of this section, and then I want to show you that you can get quick access to tethering and hotspots rather than having to go through the settings. So now we have tethering and hotspot there. I'm going to point to it with my pencil, press on it, and you can see that we're instantly jumped to the tethering and portable hotspot section of the settings. So that's basically my video, and I will usually just end with me. I may not use this in the video, it sometimes depends on editing, but just to do the old point to the screen, big thumbs up, and then it would fade out. But that depends on how the narration goes. So that's 5 minutes showing you how I'm going to edit this video, and I would suggest that there's probably about a minute to a minute and a half of material that I'm actually going to use in the final product. And there may also have to be some more video editing if I realise I've made a mistake or missed something. One thing that I forgot to film is I want to show people how they usually use this system of adding icons. The idea is that I'm showing you how to add shortcuts, which gives you access to everything, but usually you're adding applications or widgets. So obviously you would go to the app screen, scroll through some apps and see what you want, and then press on widgets to add some widgets. I may also go back to the camera and point to the camera, and then maybe do some narration and say, well, we have the camera icon here, but what if I wanted to jump straight to camcorder? So that's just a bit of extra material I needed to remember to add to the film. One thing that's very important for me is file management, because I generate so many videos. So I've set up quite a deep file structure for my YouTube videos. I've created a short folder here for my new set of videos, and we did 2 videos or 2 films, I remember, from this particular film. So we'll copy these files over to the computer now. And you may have noticed that one of the files was 650 meg, so it's quite a large file. And also the editing software that I'm going to use isn't compatible with this type of file, which is an MTS file. So I've got to do 1 or 2 things here, which I'm going to show you. The first thing I need to do is edit the extension of these files so that I can convert them. We're using a program. So I'm going to change them to MOV files. Like so. And then I'm going to convert them to AVI files, which is what my video editing software can use. So to do this, I'm using a program called Pazera, which again is free to download and use. So I'm going to add those 2 files quickly. I've already set up all my conversion notes here, and I've done this thousands of times now, so I have all the settings I need. So I'm just going to press the convert button, and then I'll show you what the file size of these videos are afterwards. So you can see that the 2 files have been duplicated essentially into AVI files, and the file sizes have more or less been halved to 50%. But it doesn't knock the quality of the videos that much, although there is a slight degradation. But it's a necessary evil because I want to use this particular video editing software, so I have to convert the files. So we are going to delete the MOV files now, because obviously I don't need them. They're still on the camera if I do, just in case I do make a mistake. The other thing to consider is that I need to use these 2 videos for my other YouTube video, well, for this YouTube video that I'm making, which is about making a YouTube video. So we have to copy these into another location, which is again in another YouTube folder, which is the anatomy of making a video, where you can see that I've already started to put together a few things. So we'll just paste them in there, and that's all done. So we're now ready to start actually piecing the bits of the video together. Usually my videos will follow the format of 5 to 10 seconds, which is the impact part of the video, which tries to grab the viewer and say, look, this is what I'm going to show you in the next 2 minutes of the video. Then I will have a title, and then the video fully explaining the hint or tip afterwards. So this is the title page that I have been using as a thumbnail up until recently, although I've been making some changes to my thumbnails, but I still use this as a title page. And it's a default page which has been set up. I actually paid for the page to be constructed by an artist. It was only a couple of dollars, but I was able to learn and self-teach a few things in Photoshop. And this is Photoshop 2, which is free, available to download completely for free. So it's another one of the free pieces of software that I use. And I will put a link in the description of where you can get it. So this simply entails just changing bits of the text in order to move on to the next tip, because obviously I've done quite a few tips in the past. So all we need to do is adjust the number there and then give this video a title, which will be something along the lines of... Now that's the idea that I've come up in the 15 seconds that I was typing out that text. It may change, but essentially this is a part of my graphics, so to speak, creating a new title that I'm going to use both potentially as a thumbnail, but also as the title of my video. So we're now on to the real crux of the video making process, editing the video together. And what you see here is Windows Movie Maker 2.6, a program that was first introduced in Windows XP and has been out for nearly a decade. So the question you're probably asking is, why do you use such a primitive, simple program? Well, the answer is, I don't know how to edit, snap together and create a video faster than using this program. Windows Movie Maker is so fast because it's such a simple program. It's free and it is so intuitive. When you mix titles together, the transitions and the fades, it just seems to know exactly what I want, and you can shrink and expand clips so quickly, as you can see now. Things just move very rapidly. Unfortunately, I can't go into too much detail about the very specifics of me editing this video, because as you can see in the top right hand corner, the video footage isn't actually displayed. It must be the capture software I use to record on screen, but sadly it's not showing the actual video playing, so I can't really narrate exactly what's happening in terms of putting the video together. But I'm going to try and remember the things that I do with my projects, or my video project when it's in Movie Maker. I have templates that were in there to begin with, which includes a watermark which has the VGJFelix graphic in the bottom right hand corner. I have an avatar banner with an effect of it zooming out towards the viewer, and an outslate which has 3 videos on it, which is encouraging people to view other videos. And of course I made the title picture that you saw earlier on. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm trying to edit the video together and take out all the useless bits that were included, where it was me adjusting the screen, setting up different parts of the shortcuts, so that what's left is literally just 2 or 3 seconds here or there, well maybe 5 or 10 seconds of material here and there, where I was doing important things like pressing a button, scrolling down the screen to another button, and showing the viewer the very raw essentials of what they need to see in order for them to repeat the tips that I'm showing them on screen. And so that's the reason I do so much editing on my videos. It's to make it as snappy as possible for the viewer to get what they need in as short amount of time as possible. If you remember from my actual filming process, I missed a part out of my main section of film where I needed to show what the user of the device usually does, which is to go to the application, to the app's icon drawer and pick an app there. So obviously that video was imported first and edited, and now everything else is being edited after it. Obviously I film the material as in the same flow as what the video itself will be done by. So a lot of the times it's just usually playing 20 seconds, maybe splitting the clip and then reducing it by a fraction here and there, usually down to hundreds of a second, in order to just get the right amount of time I need to narrate the piece of video, which I'll be doing after this editing process. and enough time for the viewer to see really what they're doing, really what I'm doing. Sometimes I have to fade to another part of the screen where, again, as you saw in the film, I was having to do a lot of scrolling, and I don't want the viewer to necessarily need to see that. But there's also the danger of the moment you take out any part of the film where you're actually doing an action, the viewer can't see that. And there have been many videos where I've watched something where somebody's narrating what to do, and they do a jump cut, and all of a sudden they've done a step which you've not seen, and so you're missing part of the jigsaw. But hopefully that's something I try and minimise and avoid as much as possible when I'm making my own videos. Now, when it's obvious that I've jumped from one screen to another, or I've zoomed in the camera, which I often do, I will merge two clips together for about 2 seconds, which you just saw there, I think. And that will be a transition fade, so it's slowly fading from one screen to the next. If there's a more obvious change in the video in terms of I've finished showing you one part of a tip and now I'm jumping to a different part of the tip, as I'm doing in this video as well, you're seeing a tearaway transition where it's almost as if someone's lifting up a piece of paper and moving on to the next topic. That's something I've just recently introduced, and I'm hoping that's a bit more clearer to the viewer in terms of when I've finished one aspect of the video and moving on to another aspect of it. And what you saw there is just one example of me doing a fade transition, because unfortunately you can't see the full benefit of me editing the video because you can't see what's actually being run in the top right hand corner, and I'm running out of things to tell you about how I edit the video. All I will suggest is if you do want any particular instruction on this part of the video, then by all means contact me. Ask me questions, tell me what you would like to see, or by all means give me advice on anything I should be changing in my own video editing strategies, except for trying to use different programs, because I've tried Wondershare, Adobe Premiere, Power Director, and all of them have just been impenetrable to be used, or too slow, or it just does some stupid form of editing which just slows everything down. I have Movie Maker down to a T, really. It is very much conveyor belt production line. I know exactly what I need to do from A to B, which really reduces the amount of editing time it takes. I have edited this film a little bit, but from start to finish, I think it took me about 11 minutes to edit this video together. So not very long at all, but I have got a lot of experience doing this. I think I've made 700 videos now, so that's a lot of experience editing videos together. And now you're about to see a transition to a different topic. So we now have an edited video, but what we need next is some audio to go with that video. Many YouTubers, and myself included in the past, would simply narrate as they use the product, review the product, and so on. But I learned a long time ago that me speaking to camera off the cuff without any script is a recipe for disaster. As you may have noticed with this video, which is certainly a rough cut, and I'm just speaking as the words come into my head. So what I do when I'm doing these really tight videos with the clips shrunk down to seconds, I need to know exactly what I'm going to say ahead of time and sync it perfectly with the visuals on screen. And I write a script. Simple as that. I will write a script in Notepad, and I will narrate as the video is being played. And I'm going to show you what I do in a moment. So the science behind this really is to just write a script, think about what I'm going to say, to eliminate all the ums and the ahs and the buts and all the hesitations that I would usually make when I'm speaking normally. And this is something I've been doing now for a couple of years, and I feel as if I'm starting to get the hang of it. So I will show you exactly what audio equipment I use, and then you can watch and laugh at me do some narration. So this is a microphone I use. It's a Samsung, not Samsung, Samsung condenser studio microphone, which I have had now for around about 7 to 8 years. So it's not a modern piece of technology in the sense that it's brand new. It's been a very trusted device which I've used for a long time, and if you've watched many of my videos, I'm sure you'll agree that the sound quality is pretty decent. The one thing extra I do with the microphone is my homemade pop filter. This is essentially a hoop stitch with a pair of tights on it, which means that when I'm speaking into the microphone with this in front of me, it eliminates all the popping sounds from words like P and B and so on. So it's just a little added extra. That cost about $1.50. So again, trying to cut down on costs. The microphone itself was about $100 a long time ago, but this filter was very cheap. So I'm now going to do some narration, and you can watch and laugh as I probably make many mistakes. A camcorder icon and a tethering shortcut. Where did these come from? When you add icons to your home screen, you're usually adding access to the main screen of an application. But most applications have loads of extra options, and there is a way to add these if you use a third-party launcher such as Nova Launcher. In this example, I'm going to show you how to get the camcorder icon from the camera application. So, with Nova Launcher, a long press on the home screen... So, with Nova Launcher, long press on a home screen and then choose the shortcut option. There will be an enormous... So, with Nova Launcher, long press on a home screen and then choose the shortcut option. This will load an enormous list of shortcuts, some of which will not make any sense, so there is an element of trial and error when you do this to find out what shortcuts actually do anything. Didn't quite sound right. Stop. Okay, let's try again. So, with Nova Launcher, long press on a home screen and then choose the shortcut option. This will load an enormous list of shortcuts, some of which will not make any sense, so there is an element of trial and error when you do this to find out what shortcuts actually do anything. But here I have found my camcorder icon, and if I press the option, it will create a home screen icon that I can press to always launch the camcorder application. So, after around 2 to 3 hours work, my video has been filmed, edited and narrated. The last thing we need to do in terms of putting a video together is to publish it. So I'm just scrolling along my projects here to show you just a glimpse of how much has gone into this in terms of the number of different clips, narration pieces that I've done. And you can see that from the 5.5 minutes of material that I originally created for the video, that's now been reduced down to about 1:30. The rest are just pictures which are on pictures and slates which are on every video. So let's publish the video, which is a simple case of saving the movie, and the name is fine. I'll just have to put that in the correct place. You can see here now the file structure I use for videos, and tips are quite a popular one. So shortcuts to anywhere next, and I've already pre-programmed in the file type that I want, which is 720p HD, because that's what I film in. And then I'll click next, and because this is about a 2-minute video, this will probably take around 2 minutes to actually create the video. So once we have the video, there's just 2 more things that we need to do. So although I already have a thumbnail that I could use for my title thumbnail page on YouTube, I've been experimenting with doing slightly different thumbnails to see if it makes any difference to the popularity of my videos. So what I'm going to do here is actually take a snapshot from the video, which is this shortcut here, which hopefully to Android users will look a little unusual. And I haven't quite got that right. Let's do that again, because it needs to be widescreen. So if I select that and then save it, So this is going to be the thumbnail page that I'm going to use on my video when it's displayed against other people's videos on the side. And what I need to do is get the picture that I just took. Drag it into this new picture, and then with any luck the resolution will not be too bad on this one, and just drag it across there. And put it towards the back so that doesn't cover up the emblem in the bottom left. And so that's my thumbnail screenshot that I'm going to use for the video. Now we have to upload the video to YouTube. So now we reach perhaps the most important part of a video, putting it on YouTube and allowing an audience to watch it. So these are the things I do when I upload a video. First of all, obviously I have to choose my video, which is going to be the one that we've been working on in this session. And the very first thing I'm going to do when I start uploading this video is make it private. There's a lot of preparation that I need to do while the video is uploading, so I want to make sure that when this video does get uploaded, that it's not actually live to anyone until I've finished making all the other changes that I need to make. So the first thing I need to do is update the title. I have a previous video, which is the previous version, the previous video in my series, which is number 36, so I think this is number 38, so maybe I've missed a number out somewhere. I better just go check that. There is a number 37, I just haven't uploaded it yet, so this video will have to wait until it goes live. So the video has been uploaded, or is uploading. What I will do is get the tags from this previous video. Again, a lot of them are ones that I've used as a templates and defaults for a lot of time, and these are mostly Galaxy S4 ones because they are Galaxy S4 videos essentially, and I will get rid of the defaults there and paste in the new ones, and then just think of some perhaps custom tags for this particular video. So one is of course icon shortcuts, how to create icon shortcuts, and those are the only ones I can really think of at the moment. Probably making tags is one of the weakest areas of my video uploading because I'm never quite sure what tags to use, whether you use as many as possible to cover as many bases or really fine-tune the ones that you want to use. So if anyone has any suggestions on particular tags you should be using, by all means contribute to this video. Next thing I need to do, of course, is to add the thumbnail, which is not in this folder, which isn't terribly helpful for you or me, so I'll have to go and check where that is. Okay, it looks as if I forgot to actually save the thumbnail as a JPEG, but I have found it now. So that's uploading the thumbnail, and next we need to edit the description. So first of all, put the title. I'm just going to put the microphone down here. So I'm going to put the title in the description at the top. I'm also going to get the video link and just place it in the share the video section here. Of course, this again is some element of templates that I'm using from my description box. I'm talking about an application in particular in this tip, which is to use Nova Launcher. So I'm going to include a link to Nova Launcher in the description, or else they won't be able to do the tip, of course. And what I also do is, because I wrote a script for the video, obviously now I have a description ready-made to be put in the description box. So I can paste my narration into a description, and that helps with search engine optimization, because obviously the description box is used when determining where a video is categorized and so on. So that's a nice little extra and bonus, although of course it does take a long time to narrate the videos and write the script, but it's using that material again. Also, I need to add it to a playlist, and the playlist is the Galaxy S4 tips. I probably need to create a new playlist and just have Android tips, because obviously people are gravitating away from the Galaxy S4 these days. Let's see, and that's quite a lot of changes I've made, so if I just click Save Changes, that should save a description, and it should also update the thumbnail, which you can hopefully see there now. And next we have to actually make some changes to the video itself. So again, I have narrated my video, so I have the advantage of having all these words ready to use as subtitles. So we can add subtitles to the video. So although a lot of work has been put into this video, I can repeat some of the work that I've done in many areas. Thankfully, YouTube will automatically set the timings through voice recognition. Seems to work flawlessly whenever I use it, so that's a good thing to have. So that's just going to sort out the animation, the subtitles. And now I need to add some annotations. And the annotations that I'm going to add is always one to just subscribe to VGJFelix. Which I'm going to say like and subscribe to, and just change the colour of it, make it VGJFelix, and I usually put it in the middle of the video around about there for 15 seconds, but I also need to reposition the box because I like to put it in the bottom corner where it just nicely links to my watermark at the bottom there. Because I've started doing a new outslate video which starts here, I now have to add a spotlight for each of these hints and tips, app suggestions and cool stuff, which I will need to get the playlist links for. So as you can see, there's a lot of time and effort going into all aspects of the video, not just the filming, but also the... sorry, just bear with me, I'm trying to remember what I need to do. So not only is a lot of time and effort going into the video itself, but also the preparation on YouTube for it to have as good a chance of promoting the video itself, but also my other work, because there are another 700 videos that people could potentially enjoy of my work, and I want as many people to watch them as possible. So I'm just adding some more playlists, which seem to be displayed in a slightly frustrating fashion because I can't find anything. I do apologise, I was getting a bit distracted there, trying to work out what was going on. I was just going to the wrong playlist link, so it was just displaying things in a very peculiar fashion. So that's another playlist there, and then we need to add one more for my third playlist in this bottom corner, which is the cool stuff, which I've just added a new playlist for, which is that one. So those are the annotations complete. I just need to put them slates towards the alter the end of the video, save the annotations, publish them, and then go back to the subtitles because they will have now been processed and all synced up. So as you can see, the timings can be seen there for each of the words on the video, and then I click publish, and that is the video finished and ready to go live. Now I won't put this live yet because I have another video to upload, but I also have to edit this video about making the YouTube video. As I say, it's all getting a bit complicated and within itself, and so that one is probably going to take even longer than this one took to edit, because there's probably about half an hour's worth of video there that needs to be looked at. But while I make the video live, this is the final edited video that you saw me put together. A camcorder icon and a tethering shortcut. Where did these come from? When you add icons to your home screen, you're usually adding access to the main screen of an application. But most applications have loads of extra options, and there is a way to add these if you use a third-party launcher such as Nova Launcher. In this example, I'm going to show you how to get the camcorder icon from the camera application. So, with Nova Launcher, long press on a home screen and then choose the shortcut option. Next, choose Activities at the top of the list displayed on screen. This will load an enormous list of shortcuts, some of which will not make any sense, so there is an element of trial and error when you do this to find out what shortcuts actually do anything. But here, I have found my camcorder icon, and if I press the option, it will create a home screen icon that I can press to always launch the camcorder application. Now, of course, your device will have loads of setting options that are usually accessible from the settings icon, but Shortcuts allows you to put these individual settings on your home page. In this example, I've added the internet tethering and hotspot option. These are just two examples of the shortcuts you can add, and there are countless more you can play around with. Just be aware that Nova Launcher is grabbing all sorts of options, and some of them simply won't create actual shortcuts. So approach with a little care, but experiment and see what shortcuts you can create. Well, I do hope you enjoyed that in-depth look at a YouTube video. I'm still in my dressing gown and I'm absolutely beat after all that video editing I've had to do today. If you did enjoy the video and find it useful, I really would appreciate any comments or feedback, and indeed if you have any suggestions and tips which would help me, then I would very much appreciate them. If you do want me to go into any more detail specifically about certain points on how to make a YouTube video, then please do leave a comment and I'll do one in the future. But for this video, which I knew was going to be quite a big one, I wanted to give you an overview of exactly the storyboard of creating a video that I would make. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in all VGJFelix videos. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much for watching this VGJFelix video. I hope it intrigued, informed and entertained you. If it did, I would really appreciate you clicking that thumbs up button at the bottom of the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so.